and I have missed you. Oh my goodness. I live in the Pasadena, Altadena area. Well, we live there. I don't live there by myself. And it has been so destructive. We've been here 30 something years and 35 years as a matter of fact. And we've never seen any kind of devastation like this. Mr. Kennedy, what has because you've been back up there, you've seen it. Oh, that's my cohort right there. That's Mr. Kennedy. So when you went, what did you when you went? What did you see? Because I couldn't go up there, and I wanted to go up there, and I couldn't. Whole streets burned down. People's lives have been lost in this fire, and the way the wind was moving, and it was just it was like something we never seen, and we had to get evacuated. And
Yes, we were one of the ones to be
tell us
evacuated as well.
what was your and I want y'all to know this. I love this man. I love this man because when they came and told us we had to evacuate, he had all the stuff up there and always kept a to-go bag for us. So, in as much as not really prepared, but we were ready to go. When you saw that all that destruction, what went through your head?
It was unbelievable to see. I mean, to actually see. I mean, the night of the evacuation, I we got the warning around first warning around 6:30 that evening when we actually saw the flames on the mountain, which was not unusual because we've seen that before,
And have been
and
evacuated before.
on numerous occasions we've seen the mountains actually burning, but it's normally it's usually going up over the ridge and away from us, and so because of that, I think most people in this area felt safe because in 30 some years and probably even longer than that because I've never heard of the fires actually coming down and burning this particular area before
Mm-hmm.
is that the fires always burnt up the mountain, not
Mm-hmm.
down. And this
Mm-hmm.
particular time,
Mm-hmm.
the Santa Ana winds came in and hurricane force winds and blew the fire from off the mountain back into the community. And it was an eerie, unbelievable sight to see so much fire, the glow at night because it was at night. The orange glow of the fire, hearing the explosions of the propane tanks, gas tanks, whatever
Transmitters were blowing up.
whatever was flammable or explosive that could happen did happen, and in that happening, I think it made a big difference
Mm-hmm.
to how people looked at, thought, believed what actually happened. Because I wouldn't have believed that this could have happened. It's ironic that the day before, just the day before, I was talking to my brother and sister back in Cleveland, and they was calling out a concern about the fires. And I said, "Oh, well, that's on the other side of town." I said, "We're safe. We don't have anything to worry about because it's on the other side
Other
of
side
town."
of the mountain.
And but over by the ocean.
Right. Oh, you're talking
And
about
so,
Pacific
so it wasn't
Palisades.
even in Palisades. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even here in Eden Canyon. And then the very next day, that was Monday. Tuesday night is when the fire started in the Eden Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the fire that we had to be evacuated from, and the fire that burnt down a lot of Altadena and
Thousands and
Pasadena.
thousands of homes,
Yes,
thousands of businesses. I mean,
yes,
it's and even people who were doing what they thought to do that would be safe, that went up in smoke. I remember one of our friends called, and he had a Rolls Royce, and he loved that car, and he said, well, and he was having to deal with that as well, and he took his car and he parked it down on another street that he thought would be safe, away from where he lived. And lo and behold, oh my God, his roads burnt up like everything else. That was an equal opportunity destroyer. And the wind was just ferocious. We had to get out because of the flying embers. And some people were like, "We're not leaving. We are not leaving." And some people told us they left with the clothes on their backs. And it's always strange to me how people can have all these funky attitudes and all these biases and all this prejudice and hateful. Let a tragedy happen that happened in the Pacific Palisades. Let a tragedy happen that happened in the Eden Canyon. And everybody forget about all that crazy stuff because now We've got to help one another. Can we stop having to have disasters to help one another? I mean, people came out from everywhere. And I just want y'all to know I know I sound funny. This is better than I've sounded in a few weeks because with all the smoke and the toxicants in the air and everything, and even wearing a mask. I mean, for like right after, I mean, we had to be evacuated for what, 12 days? And
Yes.
that's really something. And then we couldn't get to certain things. Then I found I had to get my diabetes medication. The Rite Aid burned down. The grocery store burned down. I mean, all these homes burned down. It was like it looked like a war area. And this is a horrible thing to say because we know how that feels. When you think about this in terms of the world, people are having these disasters all over. It is taking people's lives. Then after these two big fires, then it was some more fires. And then I was concerned about are people setting these fires? Because remember, we had a fire out here a while ago, and come to find out, a firefighter has set the fire because he said they was going to lay him off of work and he needed to go to work.
Well, thank God that was a
And I
long
was like,
time ago.
yeah. I mean,
You
but
know, but these, I mean, we did have
these
some.
firefighters have been amazing. They have been wonderful. They have just been, I mean, they had strength that even as firefighters, they just kept going and going and going. And the smoke was so bad. That's why I sound funny because it really jacked up my vocal cords. And just so people who sing and use their voice for their livelihood, I'm speaking from my diaphragm. Because if I was speaking from my throat, I mean, and it can affect all of us in all kind of different ways. I mean, to have everything you worked for just wiped off the map from something you had no control over. We had no control over this. I mean, when the fire started and when the wind started blowing, I mean, you think about this, and I'm sure you all have seen this on TV. And let me tell you, Mr. Kennedy made me. He said, "No, you." I said, "I want to go up there. Go up. Let me go up there and see. Let me. No, you're not going up there. You're not going." And I was like, "Can I just see?" Because I think a lot of people want to just see. Like when somebody passes away, the first question is, oh my goodness. So what did they die from? Okay, that's what I wanted to know. What did I, and we saw it. We saw it. And he wouldn't let me watch it. And it was a good thing that you wouldn't let me. And I had to wear a mask in the house. This is how he takes good care. He's like, nope, everybody in the house gonna wear a mask when you coming home. So when you saw this, now this has been a few weeks ago now. Where's your head now in the rebuilding and in the reconnection?
I mean, what that is going to take years. That is not anything to think will be done right away, by no means, because first the Army Corps of Engineers have to come in and get rid of all the contaminants first, and hopefully most people will allow them to be the ones who do the cleanup, because then it'll get cleaned up a lot sooner, and maybe allow people to start, because they say this phase two can't start until phase one
Like
is
one.
complete. So the quicker we get phase one done, and that's cleaning up a lot of debris, and we're having other cities saying, "Well, don't bring that debris to my neighborhood while you're doing this," even though this is in a time of an emergency. It's only a temporary location that they're putting the debris in. So maybe sometimes we have to be a little more lenient. I mean, I understand people saying, "Well, don't make me sit while you're cleaning up all at the same time." I mean, they have to figure something out to make all this work. I mean, there's going to be a lot more to talk about because there is a lot more to come. I mean,
It is,
this
and
is an ongoing thing.
this has been horrible. What a way to start out 2025. First, we get crazy Republicans coming in. They haven't hardly said anything about the fires, and and when the 47th came down here, I couldn't understand his conversation. He gave us no sense of hope, no sense of help, no sense of empathy or sympathy, or no sense of that we need to work together as a community and as a nation. And see this is another thing that just happened. A lot of powerful entertainers and politicians in Southern California have put their money where their mouths are, where their mouth is, where their mouths are. You know what I'm saying? and they have pledged $100 million to help rebuild these communities. And I think that is just awesome. Talk about, like I said, putting your money where your mouth is. And and people came out, wherever we could go, because like I said, we had to be evacuated, and we were how close was the fire? Because they told us get out now.
It was actually 2 blocks away from us. I mean, but we will have more to talk about coming up, because this is an unbelievable event. You know, but this was for us to see. This is our new platform that we're coming out on. We want people to see what they think of it. To send us some feedback on what they like or don't like about the new platform, so we can improve and get better.
And we're on a platform called Riverside. So we hope to see you there. We want to continue this conversation and know that we love you, know that we are praying for you, know that all of the families and everybody who's been affected, I mean, businesses are burned down, hospitals, schools. I mean, and it's going to take a lot to rebuild. And I look at it this way. Okay, the civil engineers come in, uh, and they clean up all of the toxic stuff. And then they say that the government will pay for your cleanup, but if you want to clean out all the toxins on yourself, that's okay. You could hire who you want to do, but you can't come back to us and say, "Well, I don't know what to do." Army Corps of Engineers, they know what to do. This is their ilk. This is their assignment, and they're passionate. And to let them do their job. Let them do their job. And I know how anxious it is, because I would say, like, after day 5, can we go home yet? Can we go home yet? And they're like, no, you can't go home. And so, and I understand that angst, not on the level that all of you are on. And like we said earlier, we've been through evacuations. We knew to have to go bags. We knew we had to get ready, at a moment's notice. And thank God for Jesus that we are here, and all the people who are still here. Yeah, we got some stuff going on. And it's gonna be a minute. We know it's gonna be a few minutes, and just hold each other together. Just hold each other. And can the insurance company not be trying to gouge everybody? Please. It's enough that we got to pay $12.99 for a dozen eggs. And that's how I get my protein, with some of it. But nonetheless, let us hold on to each other. Let's stay faithful in prayer, whoever you believe in, because we are humans and we're all in this together. I am Dr. Mother Love. This is Mr. Kennedy. Find us on riverside.com.
It's Riverside FM.
Oh, my bad. Riverside FM. Okay. Got it.